Hello and welcome to the Irish Independence League of Ireland Premier Division review. Myself and Daniel McDonnell are here in Richmond Park, and last minute winners, red cards, Stephen Kenny, Damien, Duff. Where do we start?
I think the thing is it delivered, I suppose, as a contest. Probably, if you're St Patrick's Athletic Persuasion, you don't feel that way. I mean, it was obviously probably one of the more hyped games we've had in recent years, and as ever in this league, you will have games that don't quite deliver in terms of the storylines. But in fact, sometimes in the league this year, it's like we're waiting for the quotes after sometimes, and it's not the football, that generates some of the headlines or the drama. But I think tonight it turned out that way. I mean, Stephen Kenny, Damien Duff dynamic was actually sort of like quite civil, really, to be honest. And I don't think people probably expected it to be any other way. Like, maybe over time, the fact they play each other 4 times a year, of course, that will be tested. But as you know, we were both writing on this game tonight, and you have a very different piece at sort of 89 minutes relative to 96 minutes, and what were we seeing then? I guess at that point it was like, Shels had the lead, possibly, will feel they had chances on the counter to kill it, but Pats definitely were stronger in the sort of 60 to 80 or 60 to 85 minutes. And you're thinking, for Stephen Kenny, it's a good night's work. It's like Damien Duff knows the players he's bringing on, he's making the changes that he knows. Shells, Pats, you can feel just with Stephen Kenny, and like he sort of alluded to it here afterwards, he's still finding his way with his squad. But Shells finished strongly, and 3 subs involved in the goal, and they're fit. They finish games well generally, but of course then afterwards they did spill over a bit, and I mean, it was a bit manic in the aftermath. Like, Damien Duff was right in front of us, obviously. I think he was celebrating and had to stop himself because he was going towards the Pats area, and then there's obviously a bit of a flare up involved. Paul Skinner, the goalkeeping coach, sent off. I think there was some kind of squabble at the bottom of the stairs going on. There was a flare thrown onto the pitch as well, from the away section, and I was at the time I had my eyes on what was going on before, and all of a sudden there's a flare in the pitch. So, it all really sort of kicked off. But it's from Michelle's point of view, it's massively satisfying. Like, I don't know what you felt about it, but
In terms of what this means, Shells, like sliding doors moments, they're seconds away from the lead being 2 points on Derry City. Obviously, we'll get on to Shamrock Rovers and Derry. And then all of a sudden, that gap is now 4. Caffrey's first goal of the season, and Damien Duff spoke there. He was his captain, the Shamrock Rovers underage teams. Massive moment for him. Great skill to kind of jink past Forrester, sticking in the back of the net. All 3 subs involved, as you said, and all hell broke loose. Like, it was really remarkable scenes. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen a last minute winner like that, but just in terms of what this means, we're at the halfway point of the season now. Shells are 4 clear. It's a night they won't forget for a long time, but just it feels like a very, very big moment. I know they'll keep saying next game, we'll take one game at a time, but that has to give them massive belief.
Yeah, no, and I think the bigger point is as well, but they had that run of like 1 win and 8, 1 win and 9. All of a sudden they've gone back to back Friday, Monday, and that's big. Like, the nature of winning leagues, winning this league with the nature of the fixtures is the Friday Mondays. The Shamrock Rovers in recent years have been brilliant on the Friday Mondays, and Shells now, all of a sudden, that just bang bang, that sort of quick win, quick back to back wins, all of a sudden just really solidifies their position, and they have to look. Not above them, there's no one above them, but to look ahead. Like, I think at the start of the season, and maybe people at Shells will say after it wasn't the case, but there's almost a gap between first and being in the top 3 that's very significant. But now, I think when you're at that halfway stage, I think they're confounding people. I think other clubs in the league, have this view that it may not last. But, I mean, at this stage, they like, you even see with I'm going to talk about Shamrock Rovers, but at times this season, like, they've dropped silly points. It feels like Shells have largely drained the max out of it. Like, there's some games where they've dropped points, they will feel unlucky, but it feels like not too many, and that this is a big win. And like, I mean, there was so much going on tonight. They have the Brian Kerr
lost track, yeah.
The Brian Kerr angle, like, you have the
folks with Duff before the game.
Yeah, and you have
Kerr quotes on Virgin as well.
Yeah, the sort of the director's box. There was various characters there moving around the place, and it was a big night. But I think as well, from a Pat's point of view, like, for Stephen Kenny, it's a disastrous start.
Back to back defeats, the wait for his first win goes on.
It's a disastrous start, but in saying that, he was only appointed on Thursday and it's now Monday. But obviously there was a risk attached with coming into 2 games quickly. And obviously this is the worst case scenario of those.
But number 1, number 2 in the league.
Yeah, but I think there's a sense that I think he'll probably be able to take some things out of that. But it's probably a bit of a buzzkill for people around here to a point. But I think they know it's a long-term project too.
They know it'll take time. Shelbourne obviously face Shamrock Rovers next Friday. That's said to be a huge game. In Tallaght Stadium tonight, Shamrock Rovers beaten Derry City. It's a big win for Rovers. There was a little bit of pressure on, especially after the defeat to rock bottom Dundalk last Friday. Another last minute winner there. That's a big win for Stephen Barley's men. No,
it is. I think it was. I mean, it's a huge game. It's weird. Obviously, it's they could still be. I'm probably insulting Shelbourne people now, but it could still be a title deciding clash or the top 2 clash at the end of the season. I mean, Shells would obviously argue that point, and I understand that, and they're entitled to for their position. But it could still be that. It could still be that in terms of squad strength. Although Europe's obviously going to be interesting. So, I mean, it would have been huge for Derry to take something from that game, just momentum, because they had a big win here on Friday. I mean, in some respects, there's a little bit of a cushion there that they can probably get over this quickly enough, and said about winning games against maybe teams lower down the table. But Rovers needed that. They needed that more, and they were. It seems quite, I don't know, lacking sort of inspiration on Friday. There's still players coming in, coming out, but I mean, the fact is, from a Derry perspective, they probably at the start of the season would think, okay, how are the games against Rovers going to go? And so far Rovers have taken 7 points from 3 games. Now, the nature of the league and Rovers dropping points elsewhere means that Derry are obviously making it up in other places. They're not expecting, Dundalk are bottom, but they've got a win and a draw from 2 games against Rovers, for example. Waterford have gone and won there. Derry have beaten Waterford comfortably at home. So the head-to-head, I mean, we're trying to watch a bit of that game, not too much. Obviously, it does seem like Derry were wide open early on. Reports would suggest that it was quite an open game and they had their moments later on. But I guess you have your preparations, you come down, you're 1 down and concede a penalty within 15 minutes. If you have a team that's under pressure like Rovers, you probably want to frustrate them for a time, build the pressure. Seems like the opposite happened.
We've seen the likes of Shelbourne beat Shamrock Rovers this season so far, and other teams dropping points as well. The wait for a win over Shamrock Rovers from a Derry City perspective goes on.
No, it does. As I said, that's obviously a problem for them. But I think the nature of the season is just to have to get over it and get on with it and hope that Rovers drop points against Shells on Friday and Derry can do their business in the other games. They're not going to play them now till I think September, and way later in the season. So in some ways they have to just stop thinking about them now.
That's great, Dan. Thanks for joining us. You can keep up to date with all the latest League of Ireland content with the Irish Independent. Thanks for watching.